Jessica Alba has spent decades in the Hollywood spotlight. We've watched her become a television star, a blockbuster actress, a successful entrepreneur and a mother, but now in 2026 audiences are seeing another side of Jessica Alba, a new chapter, and one of the biggest reasons people are paying attention is her relationship with actor Danny Ramirez. Recent summer moments featuring the two have attracted significant attention online, with fans curious about the actress' new relationship and what it means for her life today. But to understand why this story is generating so much interest, we have to go back, because Jessica Alba's story didn't begin with social media. It began in Hollywood long before Instagram could turn a celebrity photograph into a worldwide conversation. Alba first became widely recognized through television, eventually landing the role that transformed her career, Max Guevara in Dark Angel. The series gave Alba her breakthrough as a leading actress and established her as one of Hollywood's most recognizable young stars. From there, her career expanded into major films. She appeared in Fantastic Four, Sin City, and other successful projects. For years, Jessica Alba was exactly what Hollywood expected from a major young actress: beautiful, successful, highly visible, and constantly working. But eventually her priorities began to change. Instead of focusing exclusively on acting, Alba began building something outside Hollywood, and that decision would completely change her career. She became an entrepreneur. She co-founded The Honest Company, turning her public profile into a business empire. Suddenly, Jessica Alba wasn't just an actress anymore. She was a businesswoman, a mother, and someone building a life that existed beyond movie sets. That transformation is important because it explains why her current chapter feels so different today. When people see Jessica Alba, they aren't simply looking at the star from Fantastic Four. They're watching someone who has already experienced multiple versions. Jessica Alba's career is unusual because she successfully built a second identity outside acting. At the height of her Hollywood fame, she could have continued focusing entirely on movies. Instead, she became increasingly involved in business and family life. The Honest Company became a major part of her public identity, and motherhood became another important part of her life. Over the years, Alba became a mother of 3 children. With her former husband Cash Warren, her family life was often discussed publicly, but she generally tried to maintain boundaries around what she shared. That's something worth remembering when looking at celebrity relationships. The public sees only a fraction of what actually happens. Social media can make celebrities appear incredibly accessible, but a photograph is still only a moment, and Jessica Alba has spent years learning how to manage the distinction. Her marriage to Cash Warren lasted many years before the couple eventually separated. The change marked another major turning point for someone who had spent so much of her adult life building a family and business. Starting a new chapter publicly could naturally attract attention, and that's exactly what happened when Jessica Alba began being linked with Danny Ramirez. Fans immediately became curious. Who is he? Why are they spending time together? And how serious is the relationship? Danny Ramirez is himself an established actor. His credits include projects such as Top Gun: Maverick and Marvel's The Falcon and The Winter Soldier. He's part of a younger generation of Hollywood actors who have been steadily building their careers, so the connection between the two is particularly interesting. On one side you have Jessica Alba, a Hollywood veteran with decades of experience. On the other, Danny Ramirez, a younger actor whose profile continues to rise. Their relationship, therefore, isn't just attracting attention because they're both famous. It's also a story about 2 different generations of Hollywood coming together, and that's exactly the kind of story social media loves. So why has this particular relationship generated so much attention? The answer is partly about timing. Jessica Alba is not the same person she was 20 years ago. She's more established, more independent, and much more selective about how she presents her personal life. That makes every public glimpse feel more significant. When fans see Alba spending time with Danny Ramirez, they aren't simply seeing 2 celebrities together, they're seeing Jessica entering a completely different stage of her life. And because her previous relationship lasted many years, people naturally want to understand what comes next. But this is where we have to separate public information from online speculation. Celebrity relationships are particularly vulnerable to rumors. One photograph can create an entire theory. One Instagram post can become a headline, and a few seconds of video can led thousands of people to make assumptions about a couple's future. But none of that necessarily tells us what is happening privately. What we can say is that Alba and Ramirez have been publicly associated with one another, and their recent appearances and social media moments have attracted attention. Beyond that, their relationship is ultimately their business, and perhaps that's one reason the story is so fascinating. Jessica Alba spent years being defined by the roles Hollywood gave her. Then she became a successful entrepreneur. Now she appears to be creating a personal life on her own terms as well. That's a very different kind of celebrity story. It's not about a career collapse, it's not about scandal, it's about reinvention, and reinvention has been a recurring theme throughout Alba's life. She reinvented herself from television actress to film star, then from actress to entrepreneur, then from Hollywood celebrity to businesswoman and mother. And now she's entering another personal chapter. Whether her relationship with Danny Ramirez becomes something long-term remains to be seen, but the attention surrounding it tells us something important. People are still deeply invested in Jessica Alba's story. Jessica Alba's Hollywood story is far from over, but perhaps the most interesting thing is that acting is no longer the only thing defining her. She's built a business, raised a family, created a reputation outside the traditional Hollywood system. And now she's navigating another stage of her personal life. Her connection with Danny Ramirez has become part of that conversation, but whether this relationship eventually becomes a long-term Hollywood romance or simply represents an exciting period in Alba's life, only time will tell. And that's okay. Not every celebrity relationship needs an immediate label. Sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that develop naturally. For Jessica Alba, this may simply be about enjoying life after years of responsibility. She spent much of her adult life working. She became famous young. She built a successful business. She became a mother, and she experienced the pressures that come with maintaining a very public marriage and career. Now she's allowed to define the next chapter for herself. That's what makes this story bigger than romance. It's about reinvention after success. Hollywood often tells us that celebrities have to remain the same person forever. The actress from one franchise is expected to remain that actress. The young star is expected to stay young. The celebrity couple is expected to stay together forever, but real life doesn't work that way. People change, relationships change, careers change, and Jessica Alba's story is a perfect example. From Dark Angel to Fantastic Four to Sin City to The Honest Company to motherhood and now to a new chapter of her personal life. She's continually evolved, and perhaps that's why fans continue to follow her, because after more than 2 decades in the public eye, Jessica Alba is still giving audiences something new to talk about. Her relationship with Danny Ramirez may be the latest chapter, but it certainly isn't the entire story. The bigger story is Jessica Alba herself and how she continues to reinvent her life while remaining one of Hollywood's most recognizable names. So what do you think? Do Jessica Alba and Danny Ramirez make a great couple, or do you think celebrities deserve more privacy when it comes to their relationships? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this documentary, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Hollywood celebrity stories, relationship news, and the untold stories behind the biggest stars, because Hollywood changes constantly, but some stories are always worth watching.